Thank you for joining us here today at a sit-in
with the
lampshades.
lampshades.
I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Sakuma Zingami Lambew.
And I'm your host, Priest of the Most High.
It's always something.
Hey, that's good stuff. You know, that's really good stuff. I really love that intro. Nonetheless, though, I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew. And thank you for joining us today on that Sit Down with the Lampshades podcast, baby, live and straight at you. For all those who are coming in, filing in, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Also, if you
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath for everybody. Happy Sabbath. Welcome. Boo Boo. Welcome, Boo Boo. Shalom.
Hey, what's up, Boo Boo?
All right, welcome everybody. If you're if you're new, make sure to let us know where you're coming from. You know, your area, what tribe you're from. You know, represent. And again, happy Sabbath to everyone. To everyone.
That's what you did, Bringer.
You put me on blast. You put me on blast on live. You know what? For that, I'm out of here. I'll be right back.
Well, okay. Again, welcome to Sabbath edition of the sit-in with the lampshades. We're going to go to Psalms chapter 18, starting at verse 40. Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them, even unto the Lord. But he answered them not. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as the dirt in the streets. Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people, and thou hast made me the head of the heathen. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me. Verse 50. Great deliverance giveth he to his king, and showeth mercy to his anointed, to David, and to his seed forevermore. So the Most High is with us, O Israel, and redemption is coming unto us. Not coming on to these heathens, not coming on to these man-made religions, not coming on to these strangers, but redemption is coming on to Israel first and foremost, right? And then the kingdom is given back to the tribe of Judah, the house of David, the king of Israel, as the Most High will soon show. Israel soon come. And so on these Sabbath day, praise be to Yahweh, we put a blessing out to the Most High for giving us this truth, for showing us this way, for opening our eyes to the truth of who we are, who the Most High sees us to be, who his chosen people are, the true doctrine, the true heritage. You know, we bless him forevermore. We bless Yahshua HaMashiach for dying on that tree for Israel, so that we may come back into the Lord in spirit and in truth. And of course, we bless Israel, the chosen people of the Most High. For those who bless Israel are blessed, and those who curse Israel are cursed. So we bless Israel. You want to say this, Brother Lucifer?
After you fronted me up. Praise be the Most High. Just want to again put our blessings up to the Most High, and our love to the Most High, and to each and every one of you who have come and joined the podcast, the live podcast. We hope you guys are having absolutely excellent. I hope you will have an absolutely excellent Saturday. If you have any questions, as always, concerning the Word of God, concerning the Scriptures, concerning things that are edifying to the Most High and to Israel on His day, be sure to put them up in the comment section, live comment section, so we can get to them at as early as possible. But stick with us. We'll go ahead and go through a few things. Praise be the Most High. I know there's a lot of hurricanes and whatever not that's hitting. They're talking about.
I see you, Fly T.Y. Blizzy.
Hey, Blizzy.
I see you in the house.
Judah in the building. Blizzy in the house. Judah. Amen and shalom, bro.
Shalom.
All right. But yeah, there's a lot of tornadoes and hurricanes and whatever that going over America. They're comparing it to Katrina, which is very interesting because
you mean that one that's going on in Houston, Texas right now?
Yeah.
Or should I say Texas? I'm not sure if it's Houston, but
yeah, I do believe, and it's very interesting that hurricane is compared to, or they're talking about Katrina, especially in these last days, because we all know how much President Bush at the time loved the people in Katrina, in the sense that he allowed so many of them to die and refused aid, and also
for like 3 days. We have 3 days.
Yeah, they had a hard time getting any kind of response
from also, FEMA and the rest of the people.
Also, so-called Negroes that were in that area were prohibited from leaving the area to places that wasn't flooded by police, by white, so-called white people with
back
guns.
In the old days,
with guns, and so there were many deaths that could have been avoided if they had
have freedom of movement.
Well, treated them like they were human beings, treated them like they were American citizens. I mean, it's funny. They can go wherever they want to in America, you would think, but when a crisis happens, all of a sudden, the niggers dying on a makeshift plantation now. You know, and they don't talk about what happened to the so-called Negroes during the Katrina.
They've done some documentaries that
I'm talking about like in a mainstream.
Yeah,
like
of course.
The main conscience of America.
Mainstream don't ever tell you the truth, though. They did some documentaries. You can find it on YouTube, in which they talk about the white people going around with shotguns, gunning Negroes down, talking like it was ferret season, open season on the Negroes. They have people getting shot with shotguns and so forth. These white buffaloes roaming around their pickup trucks, and even though they didn't have white hoods on and white masks, they were still acting just like the KKK, man. See, those brothers who be trusting these Edomites, whether it be libtards or they be conservatives, are just deceived, man. You can't trust any one of these guys. Not until the dominion is turned over. Not until Israel comes back to the Most High in spirit and in truth. Not until they're under our boot, Yahweh. Then it could be peace. But as of right now, dude, you can't trust those guys as far as you can throw them. You know, and there's a lot of brothers losing their life, turning their back on their enemies. And that's just not a smart thing to do.
Well, you know, this coming calamity is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
Because Israel is in the house, you know.
Praise be to Yahweh. Most High has brought the Israelite understanding back to his people. And so these 40 days is actually it's less than 40 days now. I think it's about what 33 days, give or take 33 days left. No, it's not 33 days left. It's 30 something days left.
We'll get the countdown that much more accurate when it gets about 5 days till something or something.
Yeah, you know.
Right now, it's just okay. It's counting down.
Yeah, it's less.
You do the math.
In 33 days, we know that.
Watch them saying like the math in the comment section. I haven't looked at it yet, but watch them saying the math in the comment section. Hey man, you do the math, all right? It's countdown.
It's countdown to September 23rd, and the sign of the redemption of Israel in the sky. We've already posted up the Confessions of the White Devil episode that had a picture of the red dragon that's waiting for the birth of Israel. So devils in the sky waiting for the Most High to anoint or begin to anoint his 144,000. Yah willing. And that's going to happen soon come, Yah willing. So again, I mean, we're living in great times as we speak. That's why you see the distress of nations. That's why you see the earthquakes going on. That's why you see the super typhoons, the flash floods, the droughts, all happening, in various places around America. That's the reason why you see these things, because the Most High is about to redeem his people. That's why it is written to look up, for thy redemption draweth nigh. You're going to look up for your redemption draweth nigh, because the Most High allows you to know the season in which you're living in.
And for those who are watching on the Lucifer Lambew backup channel, that episode of especially the White Devil series, I think that's number 26.
Yeah, and that should be on Sakuma 08, the main site.
Yeah, it'll be on Sakuma 08. It is on Sakuma 08, the main site.
As we speak.
As far as this site, if you're watching the Raw on this site, Lucifer Lambew site, it won't be up probably, Yah willing, until tomorrow. Okay. The last Confessions of the White Devil series, I believe, should be number 25.
26.
20. I mean, the one that I have on this site is the Christians realizing that the pre-tribulation was garbage. So wanted to let that run for about a day before I uploaded the last one. So nonetheless, though, it is available on Sakuma 08. I do suggest that every single one of you guys who are interested in seeing what's really going on in that sky, who's really interested in seeing what the red dragon that is waiting to devour the baby looks like, which is in Revelation chapter 12, what it verse 1 and 2, I do believe, what it really looks like, or at least the first images that are coming out on it. These images were leaked, and again, it's we're living in fascinating, exciting, awesome times, and the Bible is coming to life, every part of it. These final parts that concern the redemption of Israel, right before our eyes.
And also remember that there's a lot of Israelite groups that are teaching that the Bible is figurative, right, and not literal. But that just goes to show you right there that the Bible is both figurative and literal. I mean, who would have known that a red dragon in the air, in the sky, was not figuratively speaking of a red dragon, but was literally speaking of an object in the skies that appears to look like an actual red dragon. I mean, wow. Who would have known? No wonder why it says a wonder in the heavens, because it is a wondrous sight to see a red dragon, literally a red dragon, flying around in the sky, in the solar system. I mean, that's off the chain. Fly Ty Blizze says, how you feel about the cap rally? When Judah comes together, it's a very powerful thing. You can tell TMH is with us. What's the cap rally?
He goes
on to say, North Carolina shot off 3 missiles.
North Korea.
Excuse me. North Korea shot off 3 missiles. Pakistan shot a missile threatening Israel and India. The Palestinians told Kushner he has 45 days to accept the pre-1967 lines with Israel, and Israel won't do it. Oh, Kaepernick. Praise be to Yah. Okay, thank you. So it says, how do you feel about Kaepernick's rally? When Judah comes together, it's a very powerful thing. You can tell the Most High is with us. Praise be to Yah. But just to be honest with you, Blizz, I'm not so interested in that football player, Kaepernick, right? I'm not sure what his lineage is. He kind of looks like a mamzer though, but he gets millions of dollars from Esau to play a sports game, and he looked like he has both feet in this world, man. I mean, there's Israelites who are giving up wives, sons. They're giving up their freedom. They're giving up their joy in their life. They're trying to downgrade to come back to the Most High in spirit and in truth. While this dude, he's living high off the hog, high off Esau's paper. So I'm not really looking at Kaepernick as a leader in Israel, because he has this world, the smell, the stench of this world all over him. So I would suggest Israel stick to Israel business and let this world be of this world.
I think also, just to add to what Priest Most High, the Lambew was talking about, is the fact that don't get it twisted. Black America is Black America.
Yeah.
We Israel. All right. I mean them Gentiles. Now, don't get it twisted. There are people, and we do love them. But in terms of like their politics, in terms of like what they're doing, I mean, be separate applies to them as well.
Yeah.
Because they're all in this world. They're lovers of this world and everything in it. Now, a great point raised again by Brother Sakuma is that the Kaepernick guy, I mean, he got paid millions of dollars to play football, and when that's not enough, he wants to take that fame and try to be somebody in the black community. He does look like a mamzer, some kind of mixed breed. I'm not 100% sure on that. Haven't really looked into him all that much. I mean, I know he took a knee in some football games, but he was on the bench anyway. And when his contract got up to be renewed, nobody renewed with him. Now, don't get it twisted.
No, duh.
Don't get it twisted. I mean, that's he took some hits to do that. I mean, we can recognize for people, so-called Negroes, what some of their lines in the sands have been. And for him, it was a national anthem. I mean, which again is understandable, but he has to come back to this truth and sincerity. He has to come back to his Israelite heritage, and it doesn't matter whether you're a football star. It doesn't matter whether how much money you got in your bank account. It doesn't matter about all those other kind of things. Whether you're seeking fame, fortune, whatever. It matters about being broken and humble to the Most High. And Most High don't just want you to take a knee. He wants everything. He wants that which is most important to you.
Yeah.
Now you may say that football was most important thing to him. Well, I don't know that. I mean, again, he was on the bench and he was taking a knee, so we don't really know exactly. We really just don't know. But we can recognize, his level of sacrifice, at least the repercussions of his actions that cost him his football career.
He should have known better. You can't take from Esau and try to use what you've gained from Esau, the money, the women, the name. You can't use the things that the devil gives you and then try to turn it back upon itself. Right? So even if he did take a knee because he didn't like the anthem, though it was making all that money, right? And even though you do can say that was a certain amount of sacrifice, he should have known the consequences of trying to use the devil's money, power, and name against it. He should have known. And if he didn't know, now he knows. But also, no one mourns after a sacrifice has been sacrificed and received by the Most High. I mean, who kills a lamb? The lamb is placed on the altar. The Most High brings the fire down from heaven and consumes the lamb, right? And then cry over the lamb. Once it's been sacrificed and received by the Most High, it's done, man. It's time to rejoice at that point because the Most High has received it and has liked your sacrifice, right? Nobody sacrifices unto the Lord. The Lord takes the sacrifice, right? And then begins to mourn over the sacrifice and begins to seek after retrieving what has been sacrificed, right? No one's digging up that lamb talking about live again, right? So if he sacrificed, just giving him more than he may have even thought of, if he sacrificed, by bending that knee, knowing full well what was going to happen to him, if he lost his career in football because of that sacrifice, and if the Lord has received that sacrifice, Yah willing, right? Then why is he chasing after what he's already sacrificed and the Lord's already received? It's better to turn from that and say, you know what, I give it to the Lord, and let me do whatever the Lord wants me to do. But then again, again, just expounding on the more, in addition, it does take a little. Hey, how you doing, Janice Williams? You finally found the Lucifer, Lucifer lambew alternate site. We some Janice in the house. Hey, Janice, what's up, girl? She didn't want to wait until September 2nd. all right. Welcome to the live podcast. Welcome to the live podcast, Janice. If you haven't subscribed to this site, please do so if you haven't already. And again, welcome. Thanks for the info on Tabernacle. He is a Mamzer. His mother is an Edomite, and his dad is an Israelite. Well, again. Not taking away from him taking a knee, because there's a lot of full-blooded Jakes that didn't, right? A lot of full-blooded Jakes that were playing in the football who stood and put their little hand over their heart for the anthem and didn't hide and didn't take the time to make a statement for their people until after this Mamzer guy takes the knee. And that's what you get to. That's what we caution against. Looking too closely in terms of one of them when it comes to Black America. We are no longer Black America. We are no longer those coon niggas, those Uncle Ruckus, those moon crickets, loving the white women and chasing after this world and all the and chasing after Babylon and all its many diverse sin. Yeah. Right. The second we gave our lives and all that we have to the Most High, and coming back to this truth, we said goodbye to such things. Again, when we were children, which children don't know anything, know any better, we did as children did. We chased after the world, this world, and whatever was presented to us. Would be figures in the world. It would be role models in this world. But now that we're men, we put away childish things. Now that we have matured in this truth, praise be to praise be the Most High. So whereas you can, we have discernment. We can look at the at Black America. We are not one of them, and they are not one of us. I mean, surely though all the people came out of Egypt, there was only the generation of the children, and two from the generation that seen the Most High's works in Egypt, that enter into the land of milk and honey. You see, Black America ain't even on that in that category as of yet. Pray be Yah. And until they are free in terms of knowing who they are and accepting onto this truth, then they're no different than they're just Gentiles. And they'll shoot you down, gun you down as quicker than an Edomite. Now, mind you, again, we still love our people. Yes, we do. Whether they be Jew or Gentile. But we also separate ourselves from what's going on in the world, because we are being separate. That's why the Most High says, "Be ye separate, be ye holy, for He is holy." We have no affiliation with the wickedness of this world. The Most High could care less about whether Kaepernick or whatever his name is gets a touchdown pass from the 40-yard line. He could care less whether Kaepernick or whatever makes another $45 million deal. In the end, the Most High cares about what the children of Israel do with their life, who they serve. Do they serve the God of this world, or do they serve the God of Israel? And in the end, it'll be the answer to that question that is going to be the sum up on what happens to Kaepernick or whatever his name is. And nice to see you, BB Perez.
Yeah, we got BB Perez who says, "Hi, what's up?"
Make sure that you subscribe. If you're new to the site, BB Perez,
subscribe, BB.
We do this every day at nighttime at 8 p.m. This is the Sabbath edition.
That's right.
Of a sit-in with the lampshades. So you're welcome, BB Perez. Also, for the new people that's coming on to this podcast, know that there's Jews and Gentiles and heathens that come a part of this podcast, especially on the Sabbath day. So again, we try to be respectful. We try to allow all to feel welcome.
We want to formally welcome everybody, Jew, Gentile, Israel, whatever, to the podcast. That's why we have the podcast, to reach out and touch, reach out and touch with the word of the Most High, and the spirit and truth, Israel, and all that first to the Jew and then to the Gentile.
Fly T Blizzy says, "Yeah, bro, the hurricane is something serious," and he's referring to the hurricane that's going on in Texas right now.
Because he also follows up with, "How you feel about that hurricane in Texas?"
It says here, if you read a little bit further up, he was giving us more information, right?
Yeah.
He says,
North Korea shot off 3 missiles, Pakistan shot off missile threatening Israel and India. The Palestinians told Kushner he has 45 days to accept the pre-1967 lines with
Israel.
With Israel. Israel won't do it. That's what they say, that Israel won't do it. Yeah, look, all this stuff is going down when? In the 40-day countdown to the end of Jonas's sign.
Yeah.
All this stuff. All right. We knew there was going to be a more powerful earthquakes, which is coming. We knew there was going to be more powerful hurricanes and tornadoes, which you're seeing right now with this hurricane that's being compared to Katrina. Yes, it's serious, but no more serious than this whole period of time is. This whole period of time, everything that's coming out is serious. War with North Korea is serious. War with Pakistan is serious. War with redeploying troops to Afghanistan as a jump point to fight Iran is serious. All these things can trip off into a hot conflict with Russia, China, which are both major powers and nuclear powers. All of that is serious because, again, the times that we're living in, these are the things that Lampshade Ministries, the Most High, has been saying through Lampshade Ministries, for quite some time now. And
before the evidence was there,
before the evidence,
you
see, the Most High had us saying this stuff before there was a hurricane in Texas that is so very serious. Before Trump made his announcement on the eclipse 21st, day, on the 21st, on the eclipse day, basically doing a verbal declaration of war with Pakistan. The other stuff we already knew about. We already knew they was doing a 16-year war in Afghanistan. They've been in there for quite some time, right? We already knew they were threatening North Korea, but Pakistan was something new.
And the Most High gave us the warning of that ahead of time.
Yeah, he could have did that rally. He could have did that, any day, but he had to do it on the day that was the eclipse. And again, the things we're seeing are escalating to a higher pitch because as Priest Most High, the Most High was saying through him, as stated, we're in the 7-year tribulation. It's no longer something that we're waiting for. It has arrived.
Just like we've been preaching ahead of time, the Most High gave Lampshades Ministry prophecy, and he was letting us know and letting the children of Israel know through this ministry that the 7-year tribulation was going to begin on 8/21 of this year. That date just passed. That solar eclipse that won't be seen again for another 7 years is the sign for the Great Tribulation. And we have been teaching that for weeks before it actually even happened, where no one else was teaching about it, no one else was even talking about it. But here in Lampshades Ministry, we was talking about it because the Most High is the one that gave us that understanding. And he's also giving us several other prophecies as well, like Revelations, Jew Prophecy 2020 on the main Sakuma 08 site. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you do so.
Yeah, take the time, take the opportunity to watch it when you get the opportunity to, because again, these breaking news, this prophecy that are coming through Lampshades Ministry, through the Most High, because of the Most High, they're not going to be available forever. Any day that they can take down our site, any day they can take down the internet, any day the anointing can happen, and therefore all this can shut down. Make sure if you have the opportunity to download, do so.
Now, in regards to what Jay Blizzy was talking about in regards to Kishner having 45 days to accept the pre-lines for Israel. Now, check it. The Most High already let Israel know through Lampshades Ministries that the sign of Jonas was the eclipse that fell on the 21st. As with the sign of Jonas, the city, what was the name of the city?
Nineveh.
Nineveh had 40 days to repent
or be destroyed,
or the judgment would come down upon them after the 40 days had been concluded. So is it with America, right? We know that America isn't going to repent, however, because the scripture says that their time would not be extended. However, the sign is still there. Now, if you take that time with the time given by the peace deal between Israel and the Palestinians, the signing of that peace deal is going to take place, y'all willing, right? During that time period, right? Because the dragon is in the sky. So once that is completed, shortly after, right? Shortly after the redemption of Israel, y'all willing, when the anointing starts being picked up, that devil, when he loses his ability to come against the reborn Israel, he's going to turn and go after those other saints that are in the other lands around America, right? And that's at that time, at some point at that time, is when that peace deal is going to be signed, because that peace deal is going to issue in to the judgment that the Most High is going to issue out to those countries who divide his land.
Exactly, and it also plays into the New World Order and all that other kind of good stuff. All right, now Boo Boo says the tribe of Issachar is in Corpus Christi. Yes,
Texas.
And right, I mean the other 12 tribes of Israel are all over the world. And again,
we don't consider those pie charts either.
Yeah, but again, this is where faith comes in.
Praise be to Yah.
If you have faith in the Most High, you're not worried about the calamities
or tornadoes
or earthquakes like Yosemite and volcanoes like Yosemite. You're not worried about those things because praise be the Most High. If the Most High be with it, it shall stand.
Praise be to Yah.
Right? If the Most High be with them, they shall stand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is a war, Israel. You should have known that from the jump, from signing on. You should have weighed the cost. Not everybody's gonna make it, right? I mean, praise be to Yah. I mean, everybody has their choices to make, has their
sins to put down,
their demons to put down in their life. You know, this the Most High ain't no joke. He could take you out. He's taking out Jake's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this 40-day period, they never even got to see the redemption of Israel. That died not even knowing that they were Israelites. You know, and there's Israelites that have passed away before seeing the rebirth of Israel with their naked eye. And we pray to be those people that enter in, that see these things, right? That generation that doesn't pass away until these things everything be fulfilled. But make no mistake, just because you're an Israelite, just because somebody thinks they're an Israelite, don't guarantee that they got some kind of mystical bulletproof vest and that they're not gonna get taken out. You know,
also realize that we put our lives in the Most High's hand, right? Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Today is all that you have to come back to the Most High in spirit and in truth. We've been preaching that for 7 years now, coming back to the Most High in spirit and in truth. Those people in Christie, Texas, whatever have you, right? The Most High has come to the children of Israel, you know, through different means. Those servants on the street corners, those servants doing those podcast videos, you know, all over the four corners of the earth, right? So, you know, they have had the opportunity to come back to the Lord in spirit and truth. If they have already, then obviously they put their faith in the Most High and His will. Let His will be done. That's right. Not our will, right? His will be done. We've had earthquakes out here. That's right. We've had heat waves out here. We've been preaching on the street corner, right? And totally exhausted and totally famished. That's and right. Totally overheated, right? Any moment, you know, our lives could have been taken. We've had cops busting the door, pointing guns at men, women, and children. Yeah, with their shaky ass fingers on the trigger. We've had so-called Issacharians who say they're Issacharians, Mexicans, even though we believe they're Ephraim. We've had them try to attack us physically, jump the stage and try to take our lives. Yeah, you know, because they didn't like this truth. So we put our life in the Lord's hands. That's right. You know, just like we teach the children of Israel, those who come back to Him in spirit and truth, to put your life. That's right. In His hands as well. That's right. Right? Because when He is with us, who can be against us? It's about faith. Yeah. Right? It's not necessarily faith in those brothers out there in Texas. It's faith in the Most High, that whom He has in His hands won't be taken out of His hands. Praise be to God. Whom He protects won't fall. Whom He holds up won't be broken. Won't be broken. And trotted down in the streets. Yeah. That's the faith. And ultimately, you know, whatever happens is His will. Is His will. But that's where faith comes in again. I mean, this isn't proof, people. This isn't based on proof. This isn't based on facts. Faith is the belief of those things which are not seen. So faith is what, and also it is written that faith moves the Most High. So that's what we have to have. Okay, that's what we teach. We teach faith, or not proof. Yeah, we teach faith. Nor do you put the Most High to the test. Praise be to God. You know, I mean, yeah, he will do what he will do. Okay, we got BB Perez. She says, I think it's a female. He or she said, or BB says, I'm mixed. That was God's will. Maybe so. I could understand the Edomites' ways. Okay, wait. Again, that's you. But Esau's going down just between you and me, or you and us, you know. And it's going to be more important to understand Israel's ways, because Israel, the kingdom of David, is going to be the one that will last forever. And also, and there's nothing. I mean, you know, it's not slap a mamzer day. I mean, with that whole tabernacle stuff. We're just stating that you know. Well, since it's the first time I've seen you, BB Perez. This may be the first time you're interacting with Lampshades Ministry. Yeah. Know that Lampshades Ministries, we don't tickle the ear. We don't take tithes and offerings. We don't, say what pleases people. We're going to tell you the truth of the word of the scriptures, you know, straight up, without any delusion, without any twisting of the word. Y'all willing. So you're welcome here, whether you're mixed or not.
Yeah, but most definitely.
Obviously the Lord is going to do what He's going to do soon come.
And thank you for the truth. You know, I mean,
living in truth.
And living in truth. You know, you got a Edomite mother, a Israelite father. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You can't choose your parents, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Boo Boo says, Shalom to Issachar. BB Perez says World War III is coming. Couldn't agree with you more, BB.
You tell us something we don't know.
Couldn't agree with you more on that one.
Those who know Lampshades Ministry, they know that we've been teaching about World War III for years now. It's nice to know that the other people around the world are starting to get what's coming. So yes, World War III is coming as retribution to these heathens for what they did to the Most High through their treatment of the children of the Most High, the chosen children of the Most High. And so World War III is coming, and it's going to bring down the tree of these heathens to its root.
BB also says, we got BB saying, storms and earthquakes are engineered by them. Yeah, you're talking about the HARP system, HARP program, and Project Bluebeam and all that kind of stuff that they're doing with the atmosphere. Yeah, okay. Engineered by them, just like they did in Haiti. They control climate.
Well, they're trying to control climate.
Yeah, they say trying to. I mean, they really could control climate to the T. They wouldn't be going these heat waves.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a heat waves. There wouldn't have been all this heat wave going down in America. Because these Edomites, they don't have melanin. They don't have pigmentation. So this sun and its radiation is really kicking their ass right now.
Yeah, you know that, BB, because you know them so well, right?
Yeah, so you should know that if they had that much power over the climate, they most definitely would have been bringing down the heat, not rising it up.
They'd be cooling it down. They got the power to fuck shit up. That's what they got, right? I mean, they got the power to make things go haywire, but actual being able to sustainably control it in such a way where it doesn't hurt the environment. They don't got that. They don't make technology like that.
It's kind of like how they created the nuclear bomb, but they never created how to clean up nuclear waste, right? Is that they can utilize a bomb, but they can't decommission a nuclear power plant, without spilling radiation everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? If they had so much power over their technology, then why was Chernobyl? Why did that happen? And why couldn't that be cleaned up? And why did Fukushima Daiichi disaster happen in 2011? See, they think they got the power, but in all reality, they don't know what they're doing, and it's just time before it blows up in their face.
Yeah, all they got is the power to screw stuff up. They're putting with their chemtrails and whatnot. They're putting mercury in the air, metal particulates that are extremely fine that you can actually breathe, that can go through your skin because they're nanotechnology, screwing up the ecosystem, causing these trees to have weird diseases where they're getting white flakes on them, where they're trees turning albino, which is showing just a total lack of respect for the planet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, while they're screaming, we're trying to save the earth, and they're doing nothing else but destroying it. So the rumors of the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white man's technological edge and intellect, is greatly exaggerated. But nonetheless, though, Blizzard.
When they're talking to each other, go ahead, just let them talk to you. It's not necessarily something.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah. When you read it, you'll realize.
Praise be the Most High. All right.
BB Brad says, can't wait for it all to end. This world is unbearable. People are so evil. And, just as in the days of Noah, so shall it be the coming of the Son of the Most High. For they ate and they drank and they gave each other unto marriage. But when the rain came, they were all swept away, right? So, yes, this world is very evil right now. The pornography blowing off the page, drugs, alcohol, fornication, adultery. They're mixing the animals with each other, making chimeras. putting human DNA in pigs, having children with three parents instead of two parents.
That's right.
I mean, this world is very wicked, and it's getting more wicked by the moment. Also, they have all these satanic groups, the satanic religion that's coming out on the forefront. On the front page, you got mainstream media doing more reports about the next big thing that the satanists are doing. But they're not talking about the fact that Bibles aren't in schools anymore. They're not talking about the fact that people aren't allowed to pray in public anymore without pushback. So I mean, yeah, this world's getting evil, but it already was evil, but now it's starting to speed up in the acceptance of evil.
I mean, come on, you can't pray over your basketball team at a basketball game, but the Satanists can come in, and a guy and another guy come in and kiss in front of your children, and you can't say nothing, or that's being a bigot, or being or some of that nature. But yet you can't pray honor the Most High. I mean, this is ridiculous. All right, see what we got here. BB says can't wait for it all to end. Okay, because you said the world is unbearably, people are so evil. That's true, and totally agree with you on that one. I think Boo Boo made a statement that I was looking at, and even though he may be talking to somebody else, I think it's still something be a good idea to talk about nonetheless. Um, okay, I think he retracted it.
Yeah, and that happens especially when people are talking back and forth to each other. They bring in and bring out.
I think it has something to do with the thought that Edomite women are going to be bed wenches in the kingdom. I think you're saying something to that degree. Well, first off, let's don't get it twisted. Israel is to be separate from the other nations. Even in the kingdom, Israel is not going to be married onto the other nations. Check it. I mean, sorry to tell you, boo boo, but that line about the scripture saying, the scripture saying that one man will be basically seven women will cling on to one man. Those are Israelite women clinging on to an Israelite man. Those are not seven bed wenches from Edom clinging on to a Jake. No, because there will be no bed wenches of the other nations for the Israelites of Scripture, right? Now, when you do hear about Edomites being bed witches and the other nations being cleaved onto Israel and basically being subject and slaves and none shall hinder, it's not talking about the average day Jake. It's talking about the 144,000 anointed, right? The ones that the ones chosen by the Most High, specifically through the tribe of Judah, because Judah is the one the Most High is coming to first to lift up 12,000 from the tribe of Judah. And the scripture saying, we read it, I believe the last podcast, that the slave trade is going to be going through Judah. But best believe again that slave trade going to these other the nations and whatever that the Most High was referencing, those nations are going to be ran by the anointed.
Yeah.
So this slave trade that the Most High is talking about is going to be from the anointed of Judah to the anointed of the other tribes of Israel, the anointed, not the average day Jake, right? Because the anointed, their seed is going to be so strong that it's going to be able to supersede no matter who they're with. They're going to breed out these other nations by having basically anointed type children that will overtake the whole earth. But Israel shall be a nation unto itself, in the sense that they're gonna intermingle, interbreed with each other, which is the way that it was before. Right? The ones that aren't lit up, they're gonna breed with each other. They're gonna breed within Israel. They're not gonna be having mixed breed babies in the kingdom. That's not the business. So if you're thinking, yeah, well, if you're thinking that you're gonna get you a nice, for lack of a better term, white bitch in the kingdom, boo boo, and if you're not lit up. Now, if you're lit up, that very well could be possible. But if you're not lit up, if you're not one of the 144 anointed, you know, praise be to Yah, you can count that out as as it is written.
Yeah. So basically, what he's saying is that the anointed is going to be repopulating the earth, and their children are going to be special, but they're not going to be made exactly the same as the anointed. The Edomites, as it is written in Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1 through 7, we will bring them as servants and handmaidens, right? But again, like Priest of Most High Lucifer D. Lambew was saying, they're going to be ran by the anointed, not the average day Israelite.
Not the average day Jake.
Yeah. The average day Jake is going to be married to 7 women of Israel, but the rulership over these heathens are going to be to the 144,000 who are going to be the new leaders in Israel, and they will decide the fate of these heathens.
Boo boo, calm down. We ain't talking about you personally, unless the shoe fits. But there are people in Israel who believe that when they get to the kingdom, whether they light up or not, that they're going to be able to, because the Gentiles are going to be handmaids and servants, that they're going to be able to come on to them sexually, and have children by them in the kingdom.
Yeah.
And we're
not saying that's what you think, boo-boo.
Yeah, because we don't know your heart, boo boo. But because you raised a good question, and because you put out a few statements that for anybody who actually thinks that way, we want to let them know that that's not the business. It is Judah for Judah, Israel for Israel.
Praise be to God.
It's Udite children coming through. It's the 12 tribes of Israel's children coming through. It's not for mixed breeds. It's not for mixed mingling and all that other kind of good stuff. That is left to the anointed, whose seed will supersede these other nations,
bringing them into the kingdom.
Yeah,
in time.
But again, boo boo, just so that you know, if the shoe fits, wear it. If it don't fit, it doesn't apply to you. Meaning, just because we're talking about the things that you raised these things, doesn't mean that we're saying you feel that way. You could have just raised it. You could have been playing devil's advocate. You could have been just coming out with something that just came onto your mind, whatever. If it don't fit you, then it's no big deal. If you really ain't got no plans of trying to stick it to these other nations in the kingdom, then it ain't got nothing to do with it. I mean, then it doesn't fit you. But for those who do, or for those who believe that that is the case, we're letting them know that that in fact is not the case. That's all we're saying. Again, don't take it too personal unless it's cutting you, and that's possible too. And if it's cutting you, there's nothing we can do about that. I mean, because again, the truth is the truth, and we're gonna give you guys the truth. We don't accept tithes and offerings of money. We don't accept tithes and offerings. Period. We don't monetize our videos. Why? Because this truth, we give it for free. We sell it not. We don't work for you. When I say you, I'm not talking specifically to you, boo boo, but we don't work for you, the viewers. We work for the Most High, and we do the much needed work for Him. If the only one who was happy with the work that we did was the Most High, then we would count that a blessing.
Praise be to Yah.
Praise be to Yah. So we're gonna continue to give out the truth, and again, if it cuts, it cuts. But if the shoe fits, then wear it. If it don't fit, then it's not applying to you. It's not talking to you. All right, we got more combo. It says boo boo. Okay, Perez got a lot to understand. Yeah. You got, some people do.
But that's what you're here for.
That's what you're here for, Perez.
You may seek out the Most High in spirit and in truth and get the answers to the questions that you have. But just to let you know, the you know, again, the answers to the questions that you may have may not be exactly what you thought it was going to be.
That's right there, BB.
And we're going to tell you the truth. We're not going to twist it. We're not going to spin it for your benefit. But the truth for the Most High is what we're going to speak in regards to your questions. Now, do you want to continue on reading what you were saying?
Yeah, BB says, what is the fate of people like me? Mixed. Well, you asked a very very interesting and very complicated, provocative question there, BB. And you know,
we gotta ask question first. BB, is your father Israelite and your mother is an Edomite? Is that what you are?
Is that the mixed Israelite father, Edomite mother? Well, and as per your father, if he be an Israelite, what tribe, what nationality? Well, that will also guide that the answer to that question. But just in a prelude, while we sit and wait for you to tell us your ancestry more specifically, praise be to Yah, you got to remember that when Israel left out of Egypt, they had Egyptians that left out with them, and obviously too, in their time in Egypt, there were people who intermarried or intermixed with the Egyptians as well. And now, along the road to the land of milk and honey, however, a lot of uprisings began to happen, and the Most High put a sword to a lot of the mixed and mingled children that were a part of the Israelite camp. They were were responsible for causing a lot of trouble. And
she says that her mother is an Edomite, excuse me, Israelite, excuse me, and dad is an Edomite from Spain. And she says evil Spaniards.
So you're not a mamzer.
You're not a mamzer, BB Perez.
You're not a mamzer, BB Perez. And you say your mother is an Israelite. What tribe?
It doesn't matter what tribe.
Well, because it would matter. Because if she's a Jake or Eve, shall I say, then you would be Jewish.
That's whether the mother's any of the tribes. It's not specific to Judah.
Okay, well, you're Jewish.
So basically, according to the scriptures,
so you're not even a mamzer, BB.
Yeah, you're not a mamzer. You're Jewish,
which basically means you're
which means Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1 through 7 applies to you then.
Yeah.
BB Perez, and let me read it to you. All right. It says here, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, that's us, and will yet choose Israel, that's us again, and set them in their own land. And the strangers, which is you, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and for handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Your dad is an Edomite. You see, BB, and so you are his seed, and though you are Jewish, you're still the seed of those who brought us into slavery and captivity. So if the Most High puts it in your spirit to come unto Israel prior to us leaving out of this country, to humble yourself, right, to Israel, then you can come in that day, Yah willing, and be up under the anointed of Israel as a servant or a handmaiden. That's the destiny. BB, you see, as you actually said, most I had come out of your mouth a couple of sentences ago, you said the inconvenient truth.
And that's actually right on spot. You see, it goes to the lineage of your father. Your father is the one who plants the seed. Your father being a Spaniard, Spaniards were basically white people, Edomites, subsequent white man, right? So even though your mother is an Israelite or could be an Israelite, you haven't really necessarily said what tribe she comes through, because I mean that doesn't matter overall. No, but I mean, again, there's many different tribes of Israel, and some people who think they're an Israelite may not even be an Israelite, because again, the tribe of Judah is the only tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel that we know for a great deal of certainty. But nonetheless, because it comes to the lineage of your father, that means whether they accept you or not, you are in fact an Edomite, a Spaniard. That's who you are. Now, praise be the Most High, as it is written, the Most High may save whom He may save, and He does have a plan for the Gentiles. That plan, of course, going through the long, the narrow road of slavery and captivity. But He does have a plan for them, and if you have faith, praise be to Yah, and if you are accepted
and you're humble,
you know, I mean, again,
there's servitude.
There is there's no reason that couldn't apply to you. You know, and not to be vague in in any way, shape, or form,
because the scripture also says those who are meant, paraphrasing, but those who are meant for the sword are to the sword. Those who are meant for pestilence, pestilence, hunger, hunger. Those who are meant for captivity and slavery, captivity and slavery. Okay, we can't make you susceptible to one of the ones that you choose to be. It's up to the Most High what your destiny is, and believe it or not, soon come, Yah willing, within 40 days, yeah,
you may very well find out
what your destiny is.
Yeah,
if your destiny is to be a slave of Israel, a servant of Israel, a bedwench to one of these anointed, then you'll know it, right? Because you're not going to choose the anointed; they're going to choose you or not choose you, right? And if they don't choose you for that purpose, you can get taken out by destruction. You can get taken out by earthquake, by sword, by famine, or you can go to Israel and just be a normal slave and servant. But your destiny is to serve Israel one shape or form, with the works of your hands or the blood of your body, one way or another. The Most High will show and reveal to you if you're humble, if you are subservient to the Lord. And I would suggest you pray unto the Lord. Yeah, you know, you're Jewish. You should pray unto the Lord and ask the Lord to give you purpose in Israel
and direction
up under Israel.
Yeah, because those who serve the nation that will not serve Israel shall perish.
And
as
those
the scriptures say.
And those who bless Israel shall be blessed. So our advice to you, Yah willing, is to pray to the Lord to bless Israel, to come humbly, right? And to trust in the Lord. If He wants your blood to be spilled as payment for the crimes of your father, then so be it. Praise be Yah. If He wants you to serve Israel as a slave, as a servant, as a bedwench to one of these anointed, so be it.
Yeah, praise the Lord.
Right? It's not us who's gonna, tell you anything other than put your faith in the Most High and be humble. And Yah willing, He will direct you in what He wants for your life, and that's not going to be too long.
You're not going to have to wait for too long, because praise be the Most High, this kingdom of Esau
is going down.
Your forefather is crumbling as we speak. Right? We have some of the Akim out there are watching have already stated. You know, we got super storms going on. We got super hurricanes going on. They're worried about the Yellowstone blowing up in the middle of America, gutting out America. You know, any of these things. They're worried about the wars between Russia, China, North Korea versus America, Pakistan now, Afghanistan. any of those stuff break out in this nuclear fire. They're worried about all these things that will ultimately all come to pass, but they're worried about when it's going to come to pass and how soon it's going to come to pass. This the wheels of your forefathers' kingdom is unraveling quickly. So pray the Most High. It is a blessing to be on this telecast and to be able to talk to the men of God, because no one comes to the men of God unless the Most High sent them.
Yes.
No one comes to the men of God unless He ferreted the way.
And also, just to let you know, Perez, and also the children of Israel, right? No one's touching nobody until the Most High rises up His anointed. And like we've taught many times, the anointed, the 144,000, is going to lead Israel. It's not by your mouth, it's not by your desire, it's not by what you think you're going to get. It's in the Lord who is going to be anointed and who is not going to be anointed. There are 58 million Negroes in this country. Only 12,000 will be chosen from the tribe of Judah. Only 12,000. That's it, right? So no one need boast of what they're going to get tomorrow when they can't even know for surety that they're going to live throughout today.
Yeah,
right?
with these storms, with these hurricanes,
Yeah,
with these earthquakes, with all these calamities that's coming to this earth.
So again, for the heathen who cleave onto Israel, pray to the Most High to direct you. It's not in the mouths of these men, even Israelite men, until the Most High has shown beyond a reasonable doubt who is going to be anointed and who is not going to be anointed. That's the reason why we teach even Israel, especially Israel, to be humble.
Because if Israel itself is scantily to be saved, how much less the Gentiles?
These Gentiles.
And when we talk, we're not just talking to you, BB. We're talking to Gentiles like you, right? I mean, other Edomites, other nations who may be watching this, who have the same questions you have in terms of what they could expect in the kingdom. All right, first and foremost, as blunt and as straightforward as we can be with it, you could expect, if you make it to the kingdom, if you are acceptable, it will be as bondmen, bondwomen, servants, slaves, captives,
so forth and so on.
So forth and so on.
Just like we read to you, praise be to Yah, and for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers, which is you, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And that person that you're going to be cleaving to, that person is going to be over you, is going to be an anointed man
of the Most High.
He's going to be the elect of Israel, one of the 12,000 of the tribe of Judah, because Judah is going to the elect of Judah is going to be the first to be anointed. They're going to be the ones to take over the leadership of Israel. They're going to be the leadership tribe, renewed and restored. Okay, and one of those men, if you be acceptable, and if they choose you,
not to a regular Jake,
one of those men will take ownership.
The ones who are anointed,
one of the anointed men will be the ones to take ownership, and you're not going to know who that is until they light up, and if they say, that you're going to be part of their cup, basically.
Praise be to Yah.
Praise be to Yah, and that's the narrow road of escape for the calamities that partly they're going to cause, right? In this nation, once the first light up happens. I mean, this nation's going to go kaput the second the first light up lands on the scene. The first light up lands on the scene, and your police ain't going to work no more. Your economy's going to go in the tank. Nobody's going to go to work anymore. The system's going to shut down. The military, the police, all of them are going to be subjugated. So and that day is vastly approaching. It can happen any day now. During this 40 days, even more specifically, very good possibility, as Priest Most High Sukumazi Lemba was saying, It could happen, all the way leading up to the 23rd of next month.
And if you go to the book of Amos, it talks a little bit about it.
Sure.
Verse 8 through 12, I'll go quickly. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, right? That's America. And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is shifted in a sheaf, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David, right? That is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, which is a self-proclaimed white man, right? And of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord, that doeth this. So the Most High is letting us know right there, BB, that once he removes the wicked, the sinners from out of Israel, right? Then he's going to give over the remnant of Edom, which you are, and the other heathens to the under the control of the anointed, right? Those who are left after the destruction.
Yeah.
So again, don't worry about what people say and yada yada yada. If they're counted as not wicked and heathens of our own people, and they're anointed, then that could be their reality. But the anointed hasn't even started as of yet, and so we're waiting for that. But no one can speak out their mouth what they're going to do specifically unless the Most High has told them specifically, and even then they wouldn't be sitting there bragging about it.
That's why it's written first to the Jew and then to the Gentile, right? I mean, it is of note that it is an advantage to be a Gentile serving in Israel under an anointed than to be even of the house of Israel, but cast away and beating on the outside door trying to get in because you were wicked and cast out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, there'll be Israelites that are beating on the doors trying to get into Israel, screaming, "We were one of you," that won't be able to. But then yet there's going to be
some Gentiles
in the kingdom.
Yep.
Serving the men of God.
Yep.
Not having to beat on the door, but having the water and the food and the.
Now they may be servants and handmaids.
Yeah, but it's better to be a servant and a handmaid
in Israel.
In Israel, in the kingdom,
right?
Than be cast away.
Be an Israelite and not be able to be in Israel with the God of Israel.
I mean, how much worse will it be for them who know, who would have known that it was the Most High's desire that they be a part of all this and they find themselves cast out.
Yep. And that's why we tell you and we teach about pride. Exactly. That's why it's good for Israel to be humble and come back to the Most High in spirit and in truth, right? Not to be sitting here berating these heathens and yada yada yada. Well, because about what you have, what you're gonna do, what you ain't gonna do, until the Most High makes his determination, right? Then it's best to be meek, for the meek shall inherit the earth.
And the Most High said, "Pride cometh before the
fall, and humility
is before advancement."
Right?
So you got that. I mean, that has to. It can't just be head knowledge. That has to be a part of it.
Yeah, that gotta be in your heart, man. Gotta be in your spirit. Gotta be in your mind, man.
Exactly.
Unless the Most High tells you differently, but we're here to preach what the Most High teaches us, and that is humility.
Exactly.
Before advancement.
Exactly.
Right. That's why we open this podcast up to the heathen, to the Edomites, and to the children of Israel. Not necessarily in that order, but everybody has a piece who wants to get this information.
As it is written, the Most High is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him.
Praise be to Yah. We bear the light of the Lord to all four corners of the earth. And we don't deny those who seek the Lord earnestly. Even right here, he was the Most High that we read in the scriptures. The Most High was saying those heathens whom we put
in their heart.
in their hearts. So he's dealing with what heathens are going to survive.
That is.
The Most High is the one doing that, right? He's the one who's going to decide what heathen gets to live beyond the worldwide calamity that's coming.
All right, now BB says this will happen in the flesh or in the spirit after death in heavenly realm. Boo boo, say whatever. It's up. It's not up to you. Okay. But nonetheless, okay. In both, and the reason why we say both is because of what the scriptures say. All right. On the one hand, it's going to happen in the flesh because the kingdom's coming to the earth. The anointing is going to be a breathing, living, touchable thing on this plane. They're going to be both spiritual as well as physical. That's the whole point of them being able to have children as they repopulate the earth. So there's going to be a physical element to them. But then on the spiritual, you got with the great tribulation that's going to take place or whatnot. The Most High Son's Yahshua is coming back for the second call, for the third call of Israel, and even amongst them, you're going to have these Gentiles that's going to see what's going on with Israel, is going to realize that the Most High is real, that's going to sacrifice everything for the Most High and for the children of Israel. And the Most High may save among them whom He may save, even amongst the Gentiles, right? I mean that's what's written.
And now, if you're asking about heaven, right? I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but it seems like you're asking about heaven. The Most High is going to be the one that dictates are the heathens if any of you are going to get to actual heaven or not, right? Again, it's up to the Most High, right? Israel is a physical location on the earth. When we leave out of Egypt, when we leave out of America, we're going to physically go to the land of milk and honey that the Most High has promised our forefathers, right? And the heathen who cleaves unto us will go to our ancestral homeland, right? When you die, whether you go to heaven or hell is up to the Most High. We ain't gonna be sitting there telling you you're gonna go to heaven. We ain't gonna sit there and tell you necessarily you're gonna go to hell, because the Most High is the one that's gonna make that ultimate decision after this life has ended for you, right? Heaven is not in this world, right? Heaven, you get to heaven if you die. Now we know in the future, yeah, the Most High is gonna bring heaven onto the earth, but we ain't nowhere near that. BB Perez.
Yeah, that's a bit advanced there, BB.
Yeah.
But the scriptures do say
you gotta take your time, BB.
The scriptures do say that basically through Israel, Israel should be a light unto the Gentiles, and that Israel is a blessing unto the Gentiles. So I mean, the Most High has a plan for the Gentiles, like he has a plan for Israel. But his mysterious work with Judah, with Israel, is going to be completed first, and that took a huge process of time for Judah to even get to this point. And thus is going to be the case when it comes, even more so when it comes to the Gentiles. They got a process too, but that process is going to be a long process. I mean, it is written that Yeshua is going to rule for 1,000 years on the earth, and yet at that time the Gentiles still hasn't been 100%, brought in. Right? We know that after 1,000 years, the devil's going to be let loose, and then all these nations are going to be riled up, and they're going to be brought down and basically destroyed. So there's a lot of time that's going to pass before, as a nation, these Gentiles, the work the Most High is doing with them comes to fruition. So you got a lot of time there.
And just to respond to what Boo Boo is saying, and you really started to sound real boo boo. He said these two just want to waste time chatting with you because you're a girl. He's not even reading my Israelite comments. All right, boo boo. First of all, when you're talking to somebody else in the queue, we don't read your comments because it has nothing to do with this Israelite truth. It has nothing to do with edification of the children of God. It's personal to whomever you're talking to. That's the reason why we're not mentioning it. That's the reason why we're not even dealing with it. Now, in regards to us answering this Jewish woman's questions, is because she's the one asking questions. She's the one wanting answers. So we're dealing with those who are willing. Again, first to the Jew, then to the Gentile. We don't see other Israelites asking questions, so obviously we're not answering questions that they're not asking. She's asking questions and serious questions. And so we're answering her questions as the Most High has put us here to do.
Looking at the comment section, you're talking to or at her. You're not asking us questions. You're talking to or at her. So there's no reason for us to address and to reread your personal conversation with the very Gentile that you're mentioning. Okay. Yeah. And another thing, Boo Boo, since you're mentioning it, your last comment was, I don't care if the Most High, or one of your other comments, if the Most High hates you, then I will hate you too. And you were referring
Romans 9:13.
Romans 9:13. You're referring to the Edomites. But of course, you failed to mention the fact that the scriptures say, do not abhor an Edomite, for they are your brother.
Yes.
And that means, you know, that
you ain't supposed to abhor an Edomite, right? And not only this woman is an Edomite, but she's also Jewish as well, right? We don't teach hate here in Lamb Shade's ministry. If you didn't know that already, now you know. We don't teach hate.
We don't hate the Edomite.
No. If we hated the Edomites, we wouldn't be here teaching them about the scriptures. We wouldn't be here answering their questions, which we're answering. They are our brethren. And until the Most High's judgment comes down upon them, they're not to be touched. Not verbally bashed just for being an Edomite. Not physically bashed just because they're an Edomite. Right? We teach love here in Lampshades Ministry. We teach the word that the Most High has given us to teach. And that's the purpose of the men of God. Don't think that only Israel is going to go to the men of God to seek the understanding from the Most High. These heathens are going to do it too. In fact, these heathens are going to do it even more. Why? Because the promises aren't for them, right? Because the kingdom ain't for them. Because they're staring down death and destruction soon come. So of course they're going to be motivated to come to the men of the Most High with all of their strength in order to get understanding from the men of God about the will of the Most High. Praise be to Yah. Praise be to Yah. That's what we're doing. We're doing. Hopefully you understand that.
But you know, but again, you know, you know, and this is the reason why, O Israel, you know, we the Most High put in our spirit to say that, you know, we work for the Most High in truth and sincerity. We don't do this for money. We have no constituents. Nobody's paying the tab other than the Most High, and the Most High got us. That's the reason why, you know, we're compelled to tell just the truth and nothing but the truth, and push the Most High's agenda and nothing but the Most High's agenda. That means that, you know, we don't tickle the ear, bro. I mean, when I say bro, I'm not necessarily talking specifically to you, Boo Boo. Again, we're talking to all of Israel, so don't take it personal.
If you got a question, ask it, but you haven't asked the question yet, Boo Boo.
Yeah. You know, I mean, and again, we don't get
tithes and offerings.
We don't monetize these videos.
We get nothing for whether you're subscribed
or
whether
you're
not subscribed.
We don't get a paycheck every time somebody subscribes or somebody desubscribes or anything of that nature.
So if you don't subscribe, then you ain't hurting us, Boo Boo.
Yeah, you're just hurting yourself.
You're just hurting yourself, Boo Boo. You ain't hurting us, because we ain't getting paid to do what we're doing by Esau. We're doing this for the Most High, right? And the Most High said, tell his people whether they hear or they forbear. That means whether you listen,
whether you don't,
or whether you don't, Boo Boo. I mean, that's real.
And you know, enough on Boo Boo in a sense, but again, we're talking to all of Israel, and we have warned you, Israel, that this truth comes to Israel first. But if Israel won't accept it, won't listen, then it's to the Gentiles. Yeah. If Israel won't take control of the live stream, asking questions, if they allow the Gentiles in their great need, right? They're the ones who their kingdom's going down. They're the ones who, you know, is getting jacked up.
They're the ones facing death, man.
They're the ones facing death and destruction. You know, if you allow them in their need to ask questions, but Israel in his pride refuses to, then don't get mad at the men of God if they're answering these Gentiles questions, because praise be the Most High. That's what we're here for, to answer questions and to prepare our people, Yah willing, for the coming of the Most High.
For His coming.
Exactly. And no one, be it Jew or Gentile, comes to the men of God lest the Most High sent them.
Yes.
You know,
even the Most High said that He put something in these heathens' heart.
We just read how He put the Spirit in these Gentiles' hearts to come to the men of God.
Yes.
So praise be the Most High. You know, who is anyone in Israel to try to hinder them?
Yes, hinder them not
from
coming to the Most High,
to the men of God,
so that they may be saved.
Exactly.
Praise be, or at least get their answers, their questions answered.
Praise be. Remember, and we talked about this before, O Israel. Remember the two people that were praying that the Most High Son Yeshua talked about. One person was like a Pharisee or something, saying that he didn't do much wrong and that he was he was a good person, and he was happy that he didn't do a whole lot of stuff. And then the other one was a sinner who was like, you shouldn't even be listening to me because I'm a sinner. And he was beating his chest and he was just begging the Most High for forgiveness. And then the Pharisee or the other person was like, hey, I'm glad that I'm not this sinner over here. And the Most High was basically saying, hey, which prayer is more sweeter to him? Is it the prayer of the person who is full of pride, talking about, you know, the Most High is basically lucky to have him as somebody that's with him? Or was it the sinner who was beating his chest saying he isn't even worthy, basically, to even be praying to the Most High, but he was putting his faith in the Most High? Surely that man's prayer was sweeter to the Most High.
And just so that again, we're on Sabbath day, so let the Lord decide with His word what the best thing to do in this circumstance, right? Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 15, starting at verse 21. Then Yeshua went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan. That means this woman, because we know Canaanites were cursed because they was watching, because their father watched Noah when he was drunk, and they were cursed with leprosy, right? To be white, right? And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, who? Unto Yeshua, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? Just as we are sent for the lost sheep of the house of Israel first. It goes on to say, then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, it is not meant to take the children's bread and to cast it to the dogs. And she said, truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat from the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Yeshua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. So faith is what moves and motivates the Most High. Again, we offer this truth unto Israel. But if Israel will not take it, and the heathens want it, and they have faith in the Lord, then they may obtain what they seek after in faith. Praise be to God. Just like what it was with Yahshua HaMashiach. A servant cannot be greater than his master. But if a servant is diligent, persistent, he can be likened unto his master. Praise be to God. We're not greater than Yahshua HaMashiach. Yahshua HaMashiach answered the Canaanite white woman.
Yeah, because that's what the Canaanites were.
And she asked him for help because her daughter was vexed with a devil, right? And after she came to him humbly, right? And after she listened to what he was talking about, she still had faith that her talking to him, that her doing what she was doing, that he would answer her. And he did. He didn't send her away. He didn't deny her ultimately, just like we're not denying BB Perez.
Yeah,
right? We only can deal with those who the Most High brings to us.
And also remember the story of the Good Samaritan too.
Yes,
you know, Samaria wasn't even they wasn't. I mean, they had no real dealings with Israel. That's why when Yeshua came across the Samaritan at the well, right? She was like, basically, you want water from me? What do we have to do with you? You know, aren't you a Jew? Aren't you a Udite? Remember that story?
Mm-hmm.
You know, pray be the Most High. But again, if the Most High's Son, the teacher, the one whom we all should follow after and serve, if he deals with the Samaritan, if he talks about the Good Samaritan and who is thy neighbor, right? You know, we should follow after him, not after ourselves. You know, we don't get no pleasure from the demise of the Edomites or these other nations. We derive love from, you know, the seeing of the Most High's word coming to pass, but not personal stuff on them. I mean, surely one Edomite going to hell, one Edomite dying is not suffice for all the evil that's happened to our people. And surely their destruction, even as a nation, is not more important than the resurrection of Israel, right? I mean, where you find yourself in eternity is a hell of a lot more important to you, it should be, than where they find themselves. I mean, just to be 100% honest with you, right? Pray be Yah. And, you know, Judites don't like to hear that. They didn't like to hear that when Yeshua said it, when Yeshua was talking about the fact that the prophets came to Israel, and there was that man who I think who got cured of his leprosy, right? And the man of God cured him, and he wasn't even an Israelite. He cured him of his leprosy, and he wasn't even an Israelite. And yet there were Israelites. There was people in Israel who had leprosy and who never got healed, right? Just like the men of God right now. The men of God are out on this telecast, on this live telecast. Pray be the Most High, giving the word of God, and you got Gentiles jumping on the live stream, asking questions and getting their questions answered. Praise be Most High, and those answers be them because they come to the man of God from the Most High, are blessings unto them. And yet you got Israelites who, because of their stubbornness and their pride and their unwillingness to answer or ask questions or whatever,
or make statements,
you know, are not getting the blessings because they're prideful and they're not, you know, and they're not humbling themselves. But that's been the case with Israel from the beginning. Learn from the mistakes of our predecessors. Learn from the past. Remember, Yahshua said he's not going to come again until the children of Israel learn to say, "Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord."
Mm-hmm.
You know, your issue, Israel's issue in this matter is not against the men of God. Israel's issue in this matter is against the Most High, because he's the one who sent the men of God. We didn't send ourselves. Praise be the Most High. We don't get a dime out of this. We don't do this for monetary gain, for fame, for money, for any of those things. We are here because the Most High sent us here, and we're here to do His work and push His agenda,
Like it is written,
like it or not.
like it's written in Luke chapter 4, verse 18 and 19. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because He hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captive, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. Surely the heathens are blind.
That's right.
Surely we preach unto Israel who's brokenhearted.
That's right.
Praise be to Yah. You know, we bear the light of the Lord to the four corners of the earth, that the Israelites and the heathen may see the glory of the Lord through the work that He has put His servants to do.
As it is written, Israel is to be a light unto
To
the
the
Gentiles.
Gentiles.
You don't hide, as Yeshua was saying, you don't hide a light under a bowl, right? You put it out so that all can see.
Praise be to Yah.
This truth is for the Jew first,
And
but
then the Gentile.
then the Gentile. So the Most I had us letting you guys know that from the jump,
From the beginning.
we accept Jew and Gentile to these telecasts.
To these podcasts.
They are welcome.
Yes.
They can levy their questions to the men of God. This is the they can speak to the men of God.
They can seek the Lord.
They can seek the Lord through His servants. You know, they can ask their questions. They can put up their requests.
And if she asks for a prayer request, though she's a Gentile, we would give it to her.
We would give it to her.
As we would do also the children of Israel.
First to the children of Israel, but if they don't want it, or they don't ask, and a Gentile comes along, and a Gentile wants it, and a Gentile asks, then Yah willing, praise be to Yah,
we would do.
The men of God would do their job.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. You know, there's no need to give, for lack of a better term, butt sore about it.
Jealous.
Or jealous.
Because remember, jealousy and covetousness is against the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments.
It is.
And Yahshua said that any man who says that they love Him, but abide by not the commandments, is a liar. And jealousy, right, and covetousness is not of the Most High, is breaking the law, statutes, and commandments.
Also false charge too. Because you're not angry with the men of God for those Israelites who, for that mentality that's been in Israel for quite some time.
That stiff-neckedness,
that rebelliousness, that constantly tries to buck up against the men of God. Who are we but just men? The Most High put us in the position, sent us out to do this work. So you're not coming against us, you're coming against the Most High. You're not speaking against us, you're speaking against the Most High. Praise be the Most High.
That we do this for Him.
Exactly.
And we didn't come out here on our own will, but His will.
Exactly. And we to deal with whom He sent to us.
Yes.
He's the one that provides the views. He's the one that provides the ears to listen. And many times He doesn't give us a message for just those people that are sitting there listening right in this second, but for somebody down the line that may, like BB, came across this telecast, came across this live podcast by seemingly accident. That those messages could very well and have been very well for those people. Praise be to Yah.
But we're gonna be able to again let the word of the Lord speak specifically to what's going on right now in regards to the heathen. In the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse 8, it says, "And the scripture, foreseeing that God would justify the heathen through faith, preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying, in thee shall all nations be blessed. So these heathens are coming to Israel, right? Because through Israel they shall be blessed. So do not hinder the heathens, the Gentiles, from seeking the Lord through the men of God, O Israel, right? Because it is the Most High's will. No one comes to the servants of the Lord that the Most High hasn't brought forth, especially the heathen, right? And right there, the Lord teaches us through his word that the blessing of the heathens will come through Israel. That is the reason why he has put the spirit in some of them to seek him through the servants of the Lord.
And come on, Israel, right? This is the 40-day countdown.
This is not the time to try to rise up against the Most High.
And this is the 40-day countdown. This is what we've been talking about, right? You think this is bad on a telecast where you got like a Gentile coming and asking a whole bunch of questions and really taking over the telecast because the Israelites got their mouths closed and what they would rather talk to each other than ask questions in this period of, that they need to have answered, right? You think this is bad? Wait till there's like 5, 6, 8, 10, 20, 30, hundreds of Edomites, thousands or Gentiles, thousands of Gentiles trying to subjugate themselves to the men of God, right? I mean, that's what the Most High said when he said he's gonna put in their hearts to come to the men of God and to fulfill that which he has written over 2,500 years ago in the scriptures, bro. This ain't no time to get wiggy. This ain't no time to get skirmish. This ain't no time to buck up. This ain't no time to be jealous, filled. I mean, if you jealous filled because the Gentiles, if not the Gentiles coming to the kingdom, right? Who would be our slaves, handmaidens, and bond servants? If they're not welcome to the kingdom, who's gonna be doing the servitude to Israel? Right? You gonna take that Gentile's place? Huh? You want to be a slave so that they won't have to come in? The heck to the no. Because Israel ain't supposed to be slaves.
Let the word of the Lord be true,
and every man be a liar.
And every man be a liar who doesn't speak
according to this word.
According to this word. And the Most High showed on several different occasions in the word that it is his will that the heathens be blessed through Israel. That is why it is written, those who bless Israel shall be blessed. Those who curse Israel shall be cursed. If the heathens want to get to the Most High through blessing Israel, let that be the case. We don't deny the heathens the Lord through servitude, through blessings of his chosen people. Right? That's our purpose. That's why we're here, oh Israel. Okay. Now, is there any more questions in the peanut gallery? Do any of our Israelite brethren have any questions in regards to the will of the Lord on this Sabbath day? Does anyone have any questions in regards to the Most High coming soon? Again, the time is running short, right? The judgment of America is coming, right? Like I said, we've been preaching this for a long time, O Israel. The Most High already knew and spoken through the ministry, right? That as it gets closer to the judgment of America, more and more heathens and Israelites alike will be coming to the Lord during this time, right? Even with Nineveh, they have 40 days to repent. We know the country of America is not going to repent for what they have done to the children of God. But individual heathens may come to the realization to repent for what they have done to the children of God. Now, BB Perez says, I'm only interested in being a part of the kingdom of God, not human they can think whatever. God's ways are mysterious, I guess. This reminds me of the story of Ruth. Be blessed, y'all. Praise be to Yah.
Praise be y'all, baby. Again, if you haven't subscribed, make
Please
sure
do
to
so.
subscribe. You know,
And you're always welcome
to come into the live broadcast and to ask your question. These are troubling times, and the Most High has brought you along this way for
a reason.
For a reason.
And also,
and he has a plan for you and everyone like you.
and also, like Brother Lucifer said, and everyone like you, the heathens shall be blessed through Israel, as is clearly written in the scriptures. And that's the purpose to why we're here, is to allow the Most High's will to be done through his servants, in which we do for the Lord.
Oh, and also to all those people watching, we do these podcasts every day at
Every
8
day.
o'clock p.m.
At 8 o'clock
Every
p.m.
day, okay? California time. We make the Most High makes us available to the children of God
First,
and then for the Israelites, for the Judites first, and then to the Gentiles. Gentiles again, with the children of God, you are all welcome to ask your questions, to get your information, to make your petitions, to whatever it is
to seek the Most High
has put in your heart to do. You are welcome to do it
before judgment
comes down. Pray be to Yah
on this country,
because there's only a certain amount of time left.
And to these heathens and to the wicked of Israel,
like it or not.
So this is the time to come back to him in spirit and truth. Now, of course, we're going to go ahead and end this podcast. It went a little longer than normally.
But it's Sabbath day usually goes. Sometimes the last 2 Sabbaths is gone pretty good. But okay.
So thank you for watching
A Sit-In with the Lampshades.
I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Sakuma Zingami Lambew.
Woo! This has been a very vigorous conversation. And I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew. You know, we love you, Israel, even though we may not always have the same opinion, praise the Most High. But again, all we say comes from the scriptures, and it's the scriptures that are true, and every man be a liar. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you again next time. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom. See you tomorrow, 8 p.m.
See you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat place.
Praise be to Yah.
Praise be to Yah.